All right, so it looks like we're live. Greetings to everybody that's going to be watching this later on. We're going to be watching the replay. Hopefully, you're good, that everything is good with you and your family. So, what am I going to talk? So, we're talking about, Ottawa Black Business Alliance. We are getting ready to reopen the door to the public. So, as of July, let's say around July, we're going to reopen the door, to the public. We're located around 235 Montreal Road. So what is Ottawa Black Business Alliance? Basically, Ottawa Black Business Alliance is an organization dedicated, to helping black businesses within the communities, entrepreneurs, people that want to get into business, people that want to get into group economics. So once we go live, so around July, we're going to reopen our doors. So once we open our doors, right, we're going to be talking about some really heavy subjects, right? So we're going to be talking about real estate, right? We're going to be talking about credit. We're going to be talking about business. We're going to be talking about marketing and advertising. Now, not just talking, but actually giving strategies. Right now, we have subject matter experts that are ready to do workshops on these topics here that you see on this board here. Hopefully, you can see it, right? The only thing is because of COVID-19, we have to shut down. So once around July, we're going to reopen our doors. So we are located at 235 Montreal Road, and we're going to really be talking. We're going to be talking about strategies, economic strategies for the Black community. As I said, right now we have subject matter experts that are ready to talk about real estate. These are people that are in real estate, so they're not just going to be talking about real estate, but they're going to actually be doing workshop and giving strategy, not just information. Right? Information, you can get information anywhere. You can get information if you go on Google, and you can get information. You can listen to a podcast. You can read a book and get information. But we're going to be talking about strategy. So these are people, subject matter experts that are in these fields, that are going to be giving you the strategy. So if you're a homeowner, or if you want to buy your house, or if you want to invest in real estate, well, we have subject matter experts that are in real estate that are going to be giving you the strategies on how to buy your house, on how to invest in the property, and so on. So, and then credit, right? So I'm going to be talking about credit, right? That is my subject area. So I want to be the subject matter expert when it comes to credit, when it comes to you understanding the different credit bureaus in Canada. I'm talking about Equifax. I'm talking about TransUnion. We're going to be talking about you understanding inquiries, accessing capital, how to get business funding, how to improve your personal credit so that you can get more business funding, or you can even get more personal credit for yourself. We're going to be talking about business structure, right? So we're talking about Ottawa Black Business Alliance. We're about to relaunch, or we're about to reopen our doors to the public again. We're located at 235 Montreal Road. So we're going to be talking about strategies, economic strategies for the Black communities to move forward. And some of the topics that we're going to be talking about, as I mentioned, it's going to be really heavy, subject: real estate, credit, business structure, marketing and advertising, and business funding. And as I said, we have subject matter experts in this field. Hopefully you can see this, right? Because the whiteboard is a little bit, but hopefully you can see what I have on the whiteboard here. So this is what we're going to be talking about: economic strategies for the Black community. So we're going to talk about strategy, not just information. As I mentioned, you can get information anywhere. You can go to Google and get information. You can listen to a book, a podcast, but we're going to be talking about strategies on how to apply what you're going to be learning. So you're going to be learning about real estate. You're going to be learning about credit. You're going to be learning about business structure. You're going to be learning about business funding. Business structure is very important, right? I'm talking about incorporating your business so you can get some of these business funding, right? A lot of the banks right now, if you have a business that is structured, what do I mean by business structure? I'm talking about if your business is incorporated, there's a lot of funding that's available for businesses right now. So that's why these are some of the things that we need to be talking about, right? These are some of the strategy, not just information, because as I said, information is all over the place, but actual strategy to help the Black community move forward. So we're going to be giving strategy on how to structure your business properly, right? So if you're self-employed right now, if you have a business that is structured under a sole proprietor, you might want to start thinking about incorporating it, right? Going the corporation route, right? If you're a partnership, you might sit down with your partner and start thinking about incorporating your business so you can get access to some of these business funding. So this is where I come in, right? Because I talk about credit. credit is really my area of expertise, right? So if you need to learn about credit, if you need to know about credit, well, you need to reach out to Ottawa Black Business Alliance. And I'm one of the subject matter experts that's going to be talking about credit and how you can get business funding, right, for your business structure. So if you have a business that is incorporated, especially if you have a corporation, we're going to show you how to set up a corporation. We're going to show you the steps in getting that business funding. We're going to show you the steps on how to fix your personal credit, right? Because a lot of the banks, before they can extend you business funding, they're going to look at your personal credit. All business funding is based on your personal credit. So this is where Ottawa Black Business Alliance comes in with a lot of the strategies I mentioned, right? We're going to be giving a lot of strategy, not just information. Information, as I said, is everywhere. We're talking about workshop that we're going to be conducting on real estate. So if you're a homeowner, or if you want to buy a house, right? Well, you need to understand the process of credit, what credit play, what role credit plays in you buying a house in terms of what rate you get and so on. So these are some of the topics that we're going to be talking about. So it's going to be heavy. We're not just here to talk. We're here to actually give strategy. So that's why I said, right, we're going to be opening our doors to the public soon. So right now we're just making sure that once all the, that the restriction is lifted. So we're looking around July to open our doors to the public. So we're going to be doing a lot of webinars, seminar, workshops on, as I mentioned, real estate, credit, business structure, marketing and advertising, business funding, on how the Black communities, businesses within the community, individuals in the communities that want to grow their business. Well, this is what Ottawa Black Business Alliance is all about. So stay tuned, right? Because we have a lot of subject matter experts that are ready. They're just ready to start giving out these strategies, right? We're talking strategy. We're not talking information, right? You've been getting information all over the place. There's different platforms for you to get information, but Ottawa Black Business Alliance, we are about strategy. We're going to show you, we're going to give you a subject matter expert who's going to tell you about real estate. I'm going to come in and start talking about credit, right? So if you want to get some business credit, well, stay tuned. Once we open, we're going to make it official. Ottawa Black Business Alliance. We're here to help the community grow. We're here to disseminate strategy, not just information, but strategy on how the Black community can grow in terms of prosperity-wise. And these are some of the subjects that we feel that we are these are the subjects that we know that we can teach the public or teach the community so that they can go and apply these information. So that's why I said a lot of it is going to be strategies on real estate, on credit, on business structure, on marketing and advertising. In marketing and advertising, we're talking about Facebook Live. We're talking about Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising. We're talking about all the online digital platform that we use on a day-to-day basis to help your business, to help your organization grow. And we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about all these topics that we need to know about, right? We need to know, how do you grow a business online? We need to know, how do you improve your credit? We need to know, how do you get business funding? And these are some of the strategies that, there's a lot of information on it, but there's not a lot of strategies around it. And that's where we come in. Ottawa Black Business, we're dedicated to helping the Black community, Black businesses, individuals within the communities, entrepreneurs, nonprofit organization, mom and pop shop, people that want to get into business. We're here to give out strategies on how you can, buy a house. If you're if you're looking to buy a house, we have real estate agents, we have real estate subject matter expert in this area that can show you step by step what you need to do. Credit, if you need to fix your credit, well, I'm a credit expert, right? When it comes to credit, anything that you need to know, that's what Ottawa Black Business Alliance is about. So, right, we have strategies, right, that we can disseminate to the community. It's just a question of, are you open-minded enough to apply these strategies? Because once we give out these strategies are meant to be applied. They're not meant to be, just for consumption purposes. So Ottawa Black businesses, it's time for us to create our own institution, to help our own organization, our own community, to disseminate information that will help us move forward. Every organization has their area of expertise. Ottawa Black Business Alliance, our expertise in providing strategies to help the everyday person grow either in your business, in their community. So a lot of the strategies that we're going to be talking about, as I said, real estate, credit, business, marketing and advertising, business funding. These are some heavy topics, right? These are some heavy topics that you need to know. You need to know how to, about real estate, right? There's a lot of real estate information that's going on, right? We're going to show you the strategies. As I mentioned, we have subject matter experts that are ready. Right now, they're just, they're just calling us. It's like, let's get this thing going. We're like, you know what, right? We're just fixing everything, making sure that the website, making sure that, once the whole COVID restriction is lifted, that we can bring people to our facility, or they can even be watching a lot of these content online. So economic strategy for the Black community, right? We're going to be talking about it. Real estate, credit, business funding, what else? Business marketing, advertising, business structure, and business funding. This is what we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to end on this strategy. I'm going to end on the credit strategy because that is my subject area. I'm a subject area expert in this area. Okay, so let's talk about credit, right? A lot of people don't understand that right now, right? It's all about data. Everything that you do with your financial information is all data that the bank is saving, or they're storing. So credit is all about data, right? It's all about payment history. How well you use credit, how well you're able to pay your bills on time. Now, a lot of the bills that you're paying, they're not really being reported at the credit bureau, right? Your phone bill, sometimes it's not even being reported at the credit bureau. Canada has 2 credit bureaus, Equifax and TransUnion, right? These 2 credit bureaus are basically, they're just a storage, right? They store all your information, right? So credit becomes critical because the more positive data you have in terms of paying your bills on time, right, the more favorable you look in the eyes of lenders, because a lender will be able to see you and say, oh, you know what, I can trust this person because they know how to manage money, right? They have a history of paying their bills on time. But one of the things that you got to do is, right, credit cards is usually, right, that's one of the data that a lot of these bureaus use, right? Every time if you have a credit card, every time you pay your bills on time, that it's saved. That data is saved. So credit becomes very important because there will be a time when you will need to borrow money, and because you have no credit history, you have no history of paying your of consistent credit payment in the past, it's going to be difficult for you to get that loan, right? So that's why you need to start building credit now, or start establishing credit right now, because there'll be a time when you need to borrow, let's say $10,000, or you need to borrow $5,000, or you need to borrow $20,000. But if you don't have data, if you don't have any history of paying back the banks from the past, it's difficult for them to extend you credit, right? So right now I'm giving you a basic, philosophical understanding of what credit is, but credit gets even deeper. We're talking about bureaus, we're talking about inquiries, we're talking about utilization, we're talking about payment history and all that. So those are some of the subject matter, the topics that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about credit, how to establish credit. Why do you want to establish credit now? Well, because there'll be a time, as I said, you will need to borrow money, right? And your friends are not going to have that money. You need to borrow $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Your friends, your family will not be able to extend you that money. And who you're going to look at? You're going to go to the bank. And what are the bank going to do? They're going to look at your credit history. They're going to look at your payment history. They're going to look at the data. What does the data say about you? Have you paid your bills on time from the past, right? So that's where credit comes in. So that's why I'm going to start teaching the community how to establish credit now. Right now, so that when you do need it, see, the funny thing about credit is this, right? It's when you need it that it's difficult for you to get, right? And the banks know that. They know that, when you're desperate for credit, that's when they deny you. They don't even want to deal with you because they see you as, well, this person is, they're too desperate for credit. So you know what? They're a high risk. But when you don't need it, that's when they want to offer you credit. right? So you want to start building credit now, even though you may not need it, right? Establish that history, that data, because there will be a time, I'm telling you, when you need to borrow a large amount of money and the people around you will not have it, right? And you'll be depending on that money. You'll be depending on that loan, and your closest friend will not be able to extend you that. And who are you going to look at? You're going to go to the bank, and the banks are going to deny you because you have no credit history, you have no data, you don't exist in the credit bureau, you are a credit invisible. So that's where I come in and show you, you know what, you need to start establishing credit now, so that when you do need it, you have the history of paying consistently on time, and that data shows that, you know what, we can trust this person. They need $10,000. You know what, based on your credit history, based on your data that we see, we can extend you that. So economic strategy for the Black community, we need to start looking at establishing credit now, so that when we do need to access capital, it will not be a problem, right? The banks are just looking at data. If you have no data within the credit bureaus, Equifax and TransUnion, when your time comes, one day you're going to look at this video and say, oh man, you know what, I should have listened to that, right? Now the bank will not even look at me because I have no data. So I'm going to come in and start showing the community how to build credit, how to establish credit, how to repair, restore your credit, so that when the time comes when you do need that credit, you have a history, you have data, and the banks will be able to, loan you, give you access to capital, loans, or whatever it is that you're looking for. So, Ottawa Black Business Alliance, look out for us. Real estate, credit, business, marketing and advertising, business funding. We have subject matter expert. We are doing this. We're not just talking about it, but we're already in this, right? This is what we do. We have subject matter experts. We have partners that we work with that are going to be talking about real estate, credit, business, marketing, and advertising, and business funding. So stay tuned. This is the information that you need, right? Before the year ends. Today is June. Before the year ends, you need to learn about real estate. You need to learn about credit. You need to learn about business structure. I'm talking about corporation, incorporating your business. You need to learn about marketing and advertising if you're a business. So if you're trying to get into business, Instagram, Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, and all that you need. And then business funding, how to get access to funding for your business if you are already incorporated. Stay tuned. Stay blessed. Continue to strive, continue to prosper. We will see you soon.